Good evening, everybody. I have been seeing some alarming things, and I want to clear up some stuff and speak some straight up truth. I recognize that some of you might say he's a coon, bootlicker, and whatever else you can think of. And that's okay. You can feel that way. But I want to tell some truths. So, we have allowed the media to tell us how to think, to tell us how to feel. The media has hijacked the death of Mr. Floyd, and we have lost sight of what we're really fighting. We have turned this into a me versus you, black versus white, black versus the world. And that's not really what this is. I want to take a look at a few things to address here in America. So, we think it's wrong to talk about some of the problems in the black community. We, black Americans, we turn a blind eye to some of the things that happen in our community. And that's not okay. Because when you look at the statistics suggest that more crime is being committed by black people. Let's speak honestly. Let's be real about it. More violent crime is being committed by black people. We can't even dispute it. We can dispute things like white people plead down, they have lawyers. Not all of them. Most of them are, that I know, may have a lawyer on retainer and may not. They are flipping a coin when they go into the courtroom just as we are. So we need to address some of these things. Like, for example, I'm just going to take the city of Chicago as an example, because we're going to be honest. If I'm going to speak honestly to you, I'm just going to take a random city that seems to be extremely violent. Why aren't we marching? Not in downtown Chicago, but on South Side Chicago. Why aren't we working on us? We tell white people they can't say that. But you know what? We aren't saying it either. Let's be honest. So let's go ahead and say it. The crime rate in cities like Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis, Memphis, Atlanta to a degree, Oakland, LA. Why aren't we marching there? Why aren't we trying to change us from within? Because I'm going to tell you, we're not going to get a lot of help with that. And more to the point that if someone tried to come in and help us, we're going to kick them out. We're going to run them out. We don't want your help. So how about we do it? What are we waiting on? Why don't we get that taken care of? That's us. That's up to us. We need to quit pointing the fingers at other people and look in the mirror. Let's just be honest. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to talk about how we ended up there. But where we are right now in 2020, we need to clean up our community. We need to do what's right by us. We need to quit acting like, pardon the pun, but we need to quit acting like crabs in a barrel. I'm going to stack. I'm going to try to get on top of you, try to get on top of you so I can get my way out. I'm not going to help anybody up. We need to work on us. Once we work on us, once we unify us, think about the strength that we would have. Think about the power we would have. But we're so divided. We're so separated. We want to call each other names. You damn coon. Quit doing the white man's bidding. Why are we treating each other that way? Why? Because I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, if something happened here in the United States and it was an us versus them, you got to rely on the person that you just called a damn bootlicker. You're going to have to rely on them. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. So, let's go ahead and set it straight. We need to watch out for us, pick each other up. You see somebody breaking in a house, don't close your mouth. Open your mouth. Say, yo, brother, that is wrong. Yo, there's a different way. Hey, how about you come fill out an application at my job? Why don't I try to pick you up? You try to pick the next man up. Why don't we try to pick each other up instead of always stepping and crawling on each other? That's solely up to us. So yes, the crime rates are higher, but boy, some of y'all aren't gonna like this. You programmed us that way. You programmed us that way. I'm not talking about anybody here in 2020 necessarily, but we were programmed that way. We were programmed to hate our skin. We were programmed that I'm trying to get in Massa's house. Forget everybody else. I'm going to get in Massa's house. Massa going to love me. You programmed us that way. And then I'm seeing posts that talk about how many white men died trying to free slaves. We fought with y'all too. Y'all was getting y'all ass kicked. Then you solicited help, put us on the front line, and we fought with you. You didn't do that by yourself. I just want you to know that. Yeah, there are mosquitoes out here, so sorry about that. But we need to figure out how we all come together to fix what is broken. We recognize we're going to start working on us. The black community will start working on us. But that doesn't change the fact that we're harassed. We are pulled aside, we're questioned. And oftentimes for standing in front of a coffee house, sipping on the coffee we just bought. But I'm going to tell you why. You're afraid of the way I look. Normally I don't have on a nice jacket and tie and buttoned-up shirt. I'll roll around in some sweats or some jeans with a t-shirt. You see a pretty well built black man and you're automatically nervous. Get over that. Throw that to the side, y'all. Because here's another truth to the black community. We do that to each other too. We stereotype each other. I look at I'm getting better at it, but look at a brother and be like, oh man, I know he's up to no good. We do that to ourselves. If we're gonna do that to ourselves, What do you think somebody on the outside looking in is going to do? Let's be honest, right? But stop clutching your purse. Stop worrying about if we're going to jump on you, because the truth of the matter is you're the furthest thought from our mind. We have more pressing issues. So stop with this mainstream media narrative. And I'm talking about CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, CNBC, Headline News, and any other mainstream news source you can think of, who are all trying to change the narrative because they're afraid. They're afraid of what two hands can do. White hands, black hands. They're afraid if we unite. Oh, they're afraid. They don't want it, y'all. Listen to me, they don't want that. They're afraid of it. So they're going to push these narratives. One news station's going to push how racist Trump is. Whether he is or not, I'm not here to debate that. But you can make your own opinion on some of the crap he says. Then they're going to push, oh, Barack Obama said this. He's more of the unifier. We need him back in office. Whether we do or not, doesn't matter. We can't have him. 8 years is up. Let it go. Because all that does is create a divisive nature for us to start pointing fingers at us instead of the real problem. The bureaucrats in Washington. The bureaucrats in the state legislatures. They're afraid of us coming together for a unifying cause. Because let's also be honest, white community, let's be honest. When you saw that man laying on the ground, screaming for help, screaming for mercy, nothing was coming. You got 4 cops, 3 standing around. There's one near his legs pinning him down. There's another on his back pinning him down while he's handcuffed. Then there's another one with his knee pressed against his neck while he's laying on the ground crying, begging for somebody, anybody, to relieve the pain. Let's be honest, that hurt you too. You got to see it. You got to see what we go through. You can't deny what you saw for 8 long, excruciating minutes. You got to see it. That's just part of the pain that we go through. Normally you'll see a 1 and 15 second clip here, 2-minute clip here, 37 seconds here. And you say, well, what happened before? What happened after? Does it matter when a man lost his life? When a woman lost his life, does it matter? We as black people, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm gonna say some truths that's gonna hurt your feelings. We as black people, we know patience. We can play long game patience, but we're not patient in the short term. We want it right now. Right now. Why didn't he why weren't the cops charged right away? Huh? Why weren't they charged right away? Gotta build a case, dummy. You can't just pull somebody in jail unless you're black, because I'm gonna tell you, it happens to us all the time. That's really messed up. But you can't just put them in jail. You build a case, build charges, and as evidence mounts, charges change. That's the way that works. And I'm gonna tell you, this sumbitch, pardon my language, but this sumbitch is gonna be flipped upside down if there's a not guilty verdict. So let them build the case. You see, it's up to murder too. It's going to happen. We're going to get justice for that situation. I truly believe that. But what about justice for all of us? Why can't we all be looked at the same? We're not. I want all my white friends to ask yourself, have I ever been nervous when I saw a group of black folks? More nervous than I normally am with a group of white folks. If the answer is yes, and I'm gonna tell you, 99% of y'all, the answer is probably yes. 99% of y'all need to ask yourself, why? Huh? Why? We, as Americans, should demand justice for all Americans. All Americans. This isn't just about short-term, let's solve the symptom. Let's solve the problem. Let's solve the problem. And it all starts inside of each one of us. Each one of us. Black folks, I'm telling you, we won't get any change. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. We won't get any change. We won't get any support if we don't start to take proactive action in our own community. Because if we don't make the change, then they will still be nervous. If we don't make the change, we will still be nervous. We have to be accountable for our actions too. So let's not only march in Minneapolis, let's not only march in Nashville, let's not only march in New York City. Let's march. I'm not saying the word riot, and I'm definitely not saying the word loot. Let's march. Let's protest. And if a state doesn't want to play ball, they don't want to change their laws, the next thing you do is affect the pocket. Affect that pocketbook. So you say, oh, how do we do that? How do we boycott a state? You don't spend your money in the state. You want to go to the Lakers basketball game, and let's say California is the problem? Watch them when they're in Utah. You got to affect the pocketbook. That's when you see change. You notice they started making changes when we started protesting. And by the way, I'm gonna tell you, some of my white friends, some of y'all some brave individuals. You saw the wrong that happened to Mr. Floyd, and you joined the protest with us. I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you. That's not an easy thing to do. You're being pushed by your own people to, hey, just don't worry about it, this'll blow over. I'm gonna tell you that this isn't gonna blow over. I'm personally not going to let it blow over. Anytime I think that the message is dying, I'm going to do whatever I can possibly think of to keep it going. You guys don't know, but if memory serves, the bus boycott, the Selma bus boycott, lasted over a year before the Supreme Court ruled in the favor of the protesters and the boycotters. Long game. Long game. We're not playing the short game. Play the long game. We cannot be afraid to sacrifice. Yes, it is going to require sacrifice to change something that's built into the fabric of the American legislature. Is going to take sacrifice. It's going to be hard. They're going to push. They're going to say, hey, we need a new media narrative. We need them fighting again, which brings me back to my original point. Stop listening to the damn media. They are selling the narrative that the politicians want to sell. Stop listening to them. Stop listening to them. Get your news somewhere else. Because if you're not watching them, guess what? It affects their pocketbook. They start going back to real reporting, real news. Wouldn't that be sweet? To get back to real news instead of telling us what we should think and how we should feel and bringing on both white and black people on to argue with each other about how it's wrong and how this is wrong. Hell, we know what's wrong. We don't need to be told by some pundit who doesn't know what it's like on the ground. You live in your $2 million mansion and you're going to come and tell me what the problem is? Bitch, I'm sorry. You don't know what the problem is. You ain't felt the problem. So, I'm calming down. Because this fires me up. Like I really don't like to see the blame game unless blame needs to go around. But this right here is a legislative problem. Once you fix the legislative side, hold cops accountable on every level. From the local police to the sheriff, to the FBI, to the INI, to the CIA, all the way up through the DOJ. I know that was a lot of acronyms, but we have to hold all of them accountable. All of them. And let's just keep it 100. We can't do it without each other. We need all of us in on this fight. So I'm gonna end it with this. On your Facebook friends, you probably have black people, white people, Mexican people. You probably got tons of just different types of people. You didn't add them by accident. Some of you may have, but you need to watch who you add. But you didn't add them by accident. So don't go attacking your friends because they see things a little different than you. How about I listen to you, you listen to me. If we don't see eye to eye, we can disagree. We can shake hands, go have a beer, a coffee, or whatever it is you drink. But we need each other to fulfill this goal. The goal is this legislative change to hold law enforcement accountable for their actions. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate the comments. I was reading some of them. You all have a good night, and God bless.